Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a Union Pacific Alco FA set from Rapido Trains. This is equipped with ESU LokSound, DC, and DCC. It also has mow power, uninterrupted locomotive power. That is a capacitor that Rapido has branded. So let's take a look at what you get in the box starting now. I might have slightly misspoke. I don't know if mow power is Rapido's company or a separate company that provides a capacitor. So I didn't mean necessarily that Rapido had branded it. We'll just unbox the FA-1 and see the unboxing experience with one locomotive because it's pretty repetitive. If not, inside a manual. It's French, but on the other side it's English. So you just flip it and you have both French and English until the text goes upside down, then you know it's going to the other side. But it looks like about 17, 18 pages of information. It covers functions, configuration variables, etc. They see me rolling sticker from Rapido, another Rapido sticker, and Rapido Trains Funk sticker. So I don't know what Rapido Trains Funk is. I do know what Train Show Funk is, though. If you've ever smelled it, you know what I'm talking about. All right, in the box, there's also a detail parts bag with extra grating, it looks like, for the fan and some other detail parts, exhaust. Looks like they may just be putting some parts in that can be frequently jarred loose in transit, and then some accessory parts as well. Got the locomotive wrapped in plastic here, and out is the locomotive. So we'll get the other one out of the box and take a closer look. So the B unit is now out of the box too, and again I misspoke. That's how we kind of roll on this channel. I just shoot this on the fly, and this is literally the first time I'm unboxing this. But you do see that the fan and the exhausts are different. So these are swappable parts, like this fan here. Let me just move over that way so you can see it. Has a cross pattern with two beams each, and the fan here in the parts bag just has one beam across. So these are variations of the model. There's also white flags in this box, or in this bag as well, and red flags. So those are the accessories, not just parts that they think might come off. Those are actual swappable parts for variations of the Alco FB, A, and B. All right, let's point out some details of the FA1. First, you've got an LED headlight and emergency light. Got the number board lights. Might be a Mars light technically. Windshield wipers are etched metal, bidirectional horn here. So single chime horn, one facing the front, one facing the rear. Grab irons all on the top. Grab irons on the nose as well. A Union Pacific shield. Metal coupler with magnetic glad hand. And the silver-tipped end air line hose, or brake line hose there. On the side, you can see the wind deflector to the front of the windshield. There is a cab interior that's a little hard to view here. Truck detail with speed recorder. There's the crew access ladder, side grating, which is yellow like the body. The print is nice and clear as well. You have the fuel tank detail there with some of the plumbing, the emergency shutoff, and an access port to fill the fuel tank. You do have a truck chain here on the rear. That is a free hanging chain. It's not molded plastic. You can see that on the rear truck. Try to zoom in for you guys some more here. So you can see that hanging. And the little cylinders that activate the braking on this truck as well. On the rear, more grab irons, as well as the center and that porthole you see right there. But on the rear, more grab irons, yellow grab irons. A diaphragm that is hard. It's not a sprung diaphragm. So it's just in place. Grab irons along each side. Of course, the real thing may have had an actual cast diaphragm that didn't move either, so I don't think that sprung thing is necessarily a big deal. A little hard to see below, but there are all sorts of MU connections hanging down below. So, but it looks clear of any operational issues. So you can see those a little better, along with the rear silver tipped end brake line hose and your metal coupler. So there's a side view of the other side of the locomotive, more of the same really. There is like an inset vent area here. And then you've got more of what we've already talked about, the fuel tank detail, the truck detail. You can see the cab interior a little better from this angle. And there's those number boards and the classification lights. I didn't mention that. And the little indication in fine print, like the forward indication on the locomotive tells you which way front is supposed to be, or going forward is supposed to be. And the road number, all the print looks really nice as well. Here's a top-down view, but from the side, so we'll call it the derailment view. You've got the fan grill back here, exhaust, some conduit running up here, as well as the horns we talked about, separately applied grab, and other detail parts. And then you've got your green nose. And here's a view of the bottom, in case you're wondering. Rapido does tuck away quite a bit of detail on the underside of the sill, so there's conduit running on the underside of the sill as well, and then you get the Rapido stamp there. So if you ever get confused of what brand this is, you'll be able to look at the bottom and see, even though it's upside down right now, that it's Rapido. Nothing earth-shatteringly different on the B unit. More of what we've already talked about. There is the same level of detail. Obviously, it's not going to have a cab. This is to augment the A unit's power. There's the forward indicator there, so you know which way that should go, but I always just look at the roof and make sure the orientation is the same as the locomotive, and I pretty much know right off the bat which way this should be going. There's also side orientation that mirrors the A unit as well, but separately applied grabs throughout. You've got all of that truck detail in detail with the MU hoses, springs on the trucks. The truck chain again is present on this unit as well, that's free hanging. So it's a rail chain, and your separately applied grabs on the roof. One thing I didn't mention that points out, you can see right here against the background, is the lift lugs. They have lift rings throughout both locomotives. That is for maintenance crews to be able to crane these things up if they need to fix something. There's lift points throughout locomotives, usually on the roof or above the diaphragms. There's a light there, and you've got your diaphragm access, door access with even molded in detail on the door. Actually, it looks like it might even be separately applied detail for the door latch. It's really hard to tell, but it's definitely got depth, so that's nice. Rapido never fails on nice detailed locomotives. All right, there's a 360-year B unit. Let's get into some other features. Well, I did it. I finally got a new scale, so you can actually see the weight as I'm doing it. So you don't have to trust me, because let's be honest, not many people want to trust me. 12.8 ounces on the A unit. And if you switch, that's basically 0.8 of a pound. And well, it does milliliters, 364 grams for you European folks. So that's the A unit. Then if we add the B unit to that, we are at 1 pound, 9.9 ounces. and that's 25.9 total ounces, and then it's going to be 733 grams. So that is the weight of those two units. I'm going to take a look at the KD wheel gauge on these. It's engage, 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 and engage. I mean NMRA wheel gauge, not KD. And then here is the B unit. Those are all showing engage as well. So that's important, especially for switches and stuff, that those are engaged. So they are NMRA compliant on the wheel set. Now we'll actually get the KD gauge and check that out. Okay, here's the coupler height for the KD gauge. This thing always wants to fight me on this track for some reason. Dead on there. Check the front. That's also dead on the A unit. Here's the B unit. Really does not like that one's a little low. That one's dead on. So there you go. I'm gonna double check this one real quick because that wasn't fully seated. Yeah, that one's low. So there was 3 of 4 that are good on that. That's pretty good. Just might have to adjust that one slightly up. All right, we have track power. ESU's fired up with F8. So I'll do that. Both of these units are going to fire up together because I haven't changed the programming from address 3, which is factory default. We'll go over some sounds now and other functions. There's the headlight. I'll show you that more in the dark if able. 1 is bell. 2's horn. 3's drive hold, which is going to hold your throttle input setting. F4's dynamic brake. Probably have to get while moving. You hear that low whine sound, that's dynamic brake. 5's Doppler horn. Eight, as I've mentioned before, is startup shutdown. 9's the white and green class lights I'll show you in the dark. 10 is the Mars light. I'll also show you in the dark. And 11 is brake set and release. 12's switching mode, which is going to slow the speed down. 14's the rear backup light. 15's flange squeal. Do that one real quick. Or if you just get there's brake squeal. There is a little flange squeal. It's just hard to hear over the prime mover, I think. 16's independent brake. 18 is short air let off. 19's track inspection lights like you see lit above the truck. 20's number boards. So we're gonna turn the lights off and take a look at some of the lighting features in the dark. Okay, you should barely see the front of the locomotive. I just turned out the headlight and the headlight's back on. The Mars light and the number board lights are already lit. Track inspection lights on 19. Looks like is actually the number board lights. And 20 are the track inspection lights, so I think it's kind of backwards on the manual, but they all work. There's your lighting for the front. And then we got classification lights also. That's F9. And you see the green and the multicolors there as you cycle through. It's white and green. So those are your class lights on the front as well. On the back here we should have the rear light, as you can see there on the A unit. So that is lit up there. Now we're just taking a look at how they run together smoothly at slow speed steps. We're going to position for a slow speed test here. It appears that the spacing is staying. This is one speed step here. It's obviously very slow, so it's going to take a moment to get the speed read. Very smooth drive at this slow speed though. And that's not even the switching mode where it makes it even more responsive to slow speeds. And 0.6 miles an hour, so very slow. 0.6 scale miles per hour on one speed step. That's really, really good and slow speed control. Here's the Power capacitor. As you see, you got all that track interruption, and it was going for a few seconds after that, so that is good as well. As soon as I set it back down, it started to pick up power right away just off of 2 trucks, so really good power pickup on these locomotives. Well, that's going to wrap up our look of the Rapido FA1 and FB1 units. These are Union Pacific, HO scale of course, and equipped with DC, DCC, and ESU LokSound, and the Power capacitor, which is indeed Rapido's, by the way. So overall, really nice locomotive, very slow speed control, which is nice. All of the lighting features are very nice. And the details are nice. So Rapido really did a good job. The only thing we can even ding the review on that I can see is one coupler being low, which is very, very common. So with that said, I'll leave you with a run-by of this locomotive. I hope you enjoyed checking it out, and we'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.